Greetings, Natalie here, and Megan.
Hi.
We're gonna walk you through Sun A's and some common mistakes or misalignments that yogis make of all ages. Good, so let's get started in mountain pose. And as you hear me give these cues, you'll be like, oh, that's what they mean by that, because you'll see Miss Megan do it in her own body. So inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Now notice Megan does a different kind of halfway lift than usual. Usually we tell you to put your palms on your shins so that your back is flat. Sometimes this happens because we're like parallel, great, but we forget to think about wrapping the outsides of our shoulders up onto our back. Yes, and we get our rib cage in line with our tailbone. We draw the belly up to the spine. Now, can you explain why you decide to keep your hands down at the mat?
Yes.
You can
so
see it.
my hamstrings are flexible enough after many, many years of yoga, so that when my fingertips are on the mat, I can still get that same like halfway lift with my collarbones opening and my belly lifted up and in, as you get from right here. But
See how her back is the same line there as it is there?
yeah. So I'm not like hunched over like
To
right
reach
here.
the ground.
Yep.
She's got all this space back here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So exhale, forward fold, let it go. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high to low push-up.
Do you want me to jump? I just wasn't sure.
Yes, Megan usually jumps, right? Or you do step back usually. If you're feeling it. So sometimes you'll see yogis do the jump back. And it's important when you do the jump back to keep your elbows bent. Otherwise, you're putting a lot of pressure on your elbows on impact. Upward facing dog, exhale, downward facing dog. Now shift forward to high plank for a second. Yeah, this we see a lot, and bless your hearts, you're just trying to hang in there. But what we want is for your hips to be in line with your shoulders, to be in line with your ankles. Yes. And sometimes your arms come longer, wider than your shoulders. You see how hers are up above? Now think about lining your wrist creases up with right underneath of your shoulders. Good. And think about spinning your elbow pits to the front of the room. Yeah, so like let your elbows go for a second. Yeah, I know, weird. Because we see a lot of people lower down with their elbows out like an army push-up. Can you do that for a sec, Meg?
Like the army push-up one?
Yeah. So a lot of people go high to low like this.
Oh.
Isn't that feel?
Oh,
It's actually a lot harder. So if you think about rotating your elbow pits to the front of the room and lowering down with your elbows tucked into your rib cage, it's a lot easier to lower down actually because it's good. Now, now you're always welcome to drop your knees in high plank. And when you do so, make sure that they're not directly underneath of your hips, right? But they're a little bit behind, so you have that long line, and you're working on core strength, like drawing your belly into your spine, and continuing to draw your tail towards your toes, straight down. Now, on an exhale, lower down to low push-up again. Great. Now, to come into upward-facing dog, yeah, you straighten the arms, you press into the tops of your feet, and the more you press into the tops of your feet, the more space you have to lift your thighs off the ground. We often see people resting down like this and throwing their head back. So the more you throw your head back, the more pressure you put back here, which is like danger zone of hurting your brain. So look straight ahead when you come up in upward facing dog. Press into the tops of your toes, lift your bottom off the ground, and think about growing out of your shoulders instead of sinking into them. Show me what it would look like if you sunk into your shoulders. Yep. Now think about wrapping them down your spine and lifting up out of them. Great. And then on the exhale, we come back to downward facing dog. And notice how she turns her feet over at the last second. Thanks for joining us to look at Sun Salutation A. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram. Whether you're a beginner or advanced in your practice, we'd love to hear from you. Give us your thoughts, your pictures, your videos. Send us your modifications for this sequence, or any questions you might have on the cues we used in this video. To find more information, like Candace's blog on why we even do sun salutations, or take a look at our class schedule, visit yogainnovations.com.